Hey, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? Man, you already know it's your boy Uncle P, and I am in the room with a very special guest. This woman is in charge. She is the executive director of Chester Community Coalition. You know, she got major things happening for herself and for her family and for the community. Man, this Saturday, June 6th. If it's the 7th, it is the 7th. I'm doing something on the 6th. See what happens? Sometimes, Pierre, you need to shut up. Anyway, June 7th, Saturday, man, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., we are walking from 9th and Kerlin to MLK Park, right? And listen, I want y'all to share this live one time. I am interviewing Miss LaShira Council. How are you feeling today?
I'm good today. Thank you.
Yes. So let's get into this. First question: will there be buses at the head to take you up to Ninth and Kerlin, and then you got to walk back down?
No, we have at least two vans thanks to
Okay.
our community partners.
Okay.
To transport folks from MLK Park to Ninth and Curlin.
Right.
And if you park at Ninth and Curlin, they'll also transfer you back to pick up your car.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll have two
Both ways.
vans
Right.
going both ways.
Okay. Awesome. Because somebody asked me, well, how am I supposed to get back to my car? I'm supposed to walk back
Yes.
No, you're not supposed to. That was just a quick question that somebody asked me today, and I know it's not on the list, but
Okay.
I just wanted to find out first. Now, let's start with the peace walk. What inspired this weekend's events, and what does it mean to you personally?
So the Peace Walk was inspired, I want to say, by an event that happened back in 2013, where a young lady by the name of Hadia from Chicago, was murdered and experienced gun-related violence. And then her family came up with Gun Violence Awareness Day, marked by participants wearing orange. And orange represents the colors that hunters wear when they're out and hunting, and that offers protection and safety, and it's so they can be seen.
Right.
So 4 years ago, Chester Community Coalition began the Peace Walk, including community partners and community members. What it means to me personally is it is everything. So in May of 2002, I lost my brother to gun-related violence. And I want to talk a little bit about how I got connected and learning about Chester Community Coalition. What really got me interested is that the focus and mission was specific to gun violence. And after I lost my brother, I did have like visual memories. I did arrive on the scene. And so as I continued on my healing journey, just thinking about like how has this impacted me, and being able to become aware of that, then again, running to Chester Community Coalition,
Right.
I feel like it was the purpose behind the pain of losing my brother. And so, again, this walk means everything to me. I am very aware, and the CCC team is very aware that because we're having this walk, it does not mean that gun-related violence will automatically stop.
Right.
Okay, what we want to do is show the community that we're in support of ending gun violence, and by any means necessary, and that's where we need collaboration. But by any means necessary, are we willing to put an end to gun violence? And we want to show the community that we're here, we're there, we want them to be involved. We want their voices to be heard, and we want them to be seen, feel safe, and protected as well.
So earlier you were talking about some of your partners and the people that are, in it with you. You mind naming some partners and some organizations coming together to make this event happen?
Absolutely. First of all, I definitely want to shout out CMP Radio
Whoop, whoop. Let's
for
go.
giving us this platform, to always giving us this platform since the Peace Walk started, to bring awareness that it is happening. as we have Shop Right of Eddie Stone.
Okay.
So we have a representative who will also have a table there.
Okay.
We have our Sisters of St. Francis who have supported us since day one and are a major part of founding Chester Community Coalition, along with one of our board members. The Tripley Foundation, Boys and Girls Club of Chester, Making a Change, of course. Reworld, the Philadelphia Union. We have Small Swarthmore Presbyterian, Safe Corridors. Several of our board members, along with McDonald's, they're supporting us this year again, and St. John Thompson. Yep. So those are some of our partners that have really contributed to the ability for us to make this happen again this year.
Why do you think it's important that we make space for peace in a city often surrounded by pain and loss?
So I think, I thank you for asking that question. So I think it's also important while we recognize the pain and loss, right? I think that that's the most uncomfortable piece of this experience. We must also recognize the joy, the strength, the resilience that happens in the city.
Absolutely.
Right? So, yes, we can recognize both at the same time. And I think that if we uplift more of the sea pride, right? The resilience, the knowledge. Our community is so knowledgeable, so smart, so innovative, so creative. Right, like we gotta uplift that.
Absolutely.
Right, and that doesn't mean that the pain goes away.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't, and I think that we can acknowledge that the pain won't go away, but we'll feel more of that joy and those comfortable feelings and thriving and really setting ourselves up for greatness in the future. Right. Yeah.
Let's talk to someone who's never attended before. Right. For someone who's never attended before, why should they come out to this peace walk?
Okay. It will give you an opportunity to see what the peace walk is going to be like. Just come on out and see. Just take a little peek and see what the peace walk is like. It'll give you the opportunity to see who supports gun violence prevention. I want to get specific to gun violence prevention. See what elected officials support gun violence prevention, because this is very systemic.
Yes, it is.
Right, there are many barriers that exist beyond our control. We have to acknowledge that as one organization, we can't do it all. But in collaboration and partnership, we can definitely make some headway. So I think it's important for the community to know who those folks are so they can spot them out.
Yes.
In addition to just having a space to connect and remember our lost loved ones and celebrate, and get to know who Chester Community Coalition is as well.
I get that. So, we always hear the term trauma-informed care, right? But what does that really mean? And how does Chester Community Coalition go about giving trauma-informed care?
Okay. So trauma-informed care means that we are aware that everyone, whether it's what some people call big T or little t, have had experience with a trauma, whether it's being hit by a car as a kid and breaking your arm, or other more, I would say, severe childhood or adult child traumatic experiences. So having that awareness in communicating and engaging, but the awareness is not just about the ones that we are engaging with, but the awareness of our own traumatic experiences and how they play into how we interact and engage with folks that we are trying to help in the community. And I think what's important when providing, therapeutic or trauma-informed support is the collaboration.
Yes.
And I know that for some of us, there's an expectation for the therapist to tell you what to do. So if you do this, and this, you're going to be good. That's not how it works. It works with collaboration. Like, what do you hope to get out of this, right? What are your intended results, right? We have protective and risk factors. Where are those? Where do skills need to be built, and how can we build on the strengths that already exist, as well as relationships? How do they impact what it looks like for us to be able to provide trauma informed care? And we often say we meet people where they are, and we do, but we also go on a journey to building them up.
Yes. What kind of support does CCC offer, especially specifically for children and teens
Okay.
impacted by trauma?
Absolutely. So we offer individual therapy. We also offer our healing and strength group is currently on pause, but we will be resuming that in the near future, where we offer our art therapy family style group for the young family members. We also offer school based programming. So we have a teen mental health first aid training program that we do within the school system. We recently piloted our WAR, which stands for Wellness, Accountability, and Respect boxing program in partnership with the local boxing gym.
Okay.
As well as what we would call our trauma informed basketball program, in support and collaboration with the Boys and Girls Club of Chester, where the participants are not only learning boxing skills and basketball skills, but they're also learning how to interact with each other, right? And then at the end, there's always time where they come together and really talk about accountability, wellness, and respect.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's dope. Accountability, wellness, and respect. How can parents or caregivers recognize trauma in young people, and what first steps should they take?
Okay. So I want to make it clear that our young people are resilient. So I can't say that there's one thing that's going to be that's what it is. Right. Our young people are very resilient. Even talking to them.
Right.
I'm good.
I'm good. I ain't worried about nothing. I don't need to talk.
Good. I don't need to talk. Right?
I just be in the school hugging all of them, man.
Yeah.
Just come here, give me a hug, right? And you'll be surprised how many kids start crying, right? And I'm like, you want to talk? Yeah, I want to talk, right? And it might not be something as deep,
right?
But it's
from your perspective, right?
But it's something that triggered them this morning, be it mom, be it dad, be it friends, be it whatever. But that hug let them know, like, I love you, and I'm here for you. They said, Uncle P, you get the best hugs, right? And I've heard that before, like, maybe I really do. You feel me? Maybe I'm going to start charging for my hugs.
It's important, though, to create that sense of safety, right? And because that's when they're going to tell you.
Absolutely.
Right? Sometimes, some things we don't even have to ask. If they feel safe, they're going to tell you. Right? So back to what to be aware of. I will say be aware of significant changes.
Right.
So they're either doing more of or doing less of something. I also think it's important to recognize changes in eating and sleep patterns. I always think that's one of the important things. And I want to also say that doesn't automatically mean they're experiencing trauma, but these are some of the things that you can look, I would say, significant changes, especially if you spend a lot of time with your child or young person that you're caring for. Just being able to recognize changes is important.
In a city that has experienced so much generational pain, how do we begin to shift from surviving to healing, right? Because I think that's something that so many people out here that says, I don't need therapy. Therapy are for females. Therapy is not for me. I'm surviving. A man is supposed to deal with pain and shut up. And I like to say that's the old way of doing things. And look at where that got you, right? Like, look at how your family responds to you when you're upset or you don't get upset or you're frustrated or you're mad. Or just look at how we die off so quick as men because we're not able to find the pain and put the pain on the table and address it.
Yeah.
Right? We're constantly face mask guarded up, right? So tell me, like, how you see this happening, us getting from surviving to actually healing.
I think we recognize that healing is a journey. Just like there's survival journey. Because when do you say I survived?
Right.
Like when do you say it? If it's not just if it's particular to one event, like
I'm surviving every day.
you're surviving
Every day.
Can you do both at the same time?
Not if you're only saying like you gotta acknowledge the pain that you feel, like, and you gotta talk through it. I just feel like just talking just opens up doors, right? You know, you talk, you get to another door, you talk, you get through that door, right? Then it's a labyrinth of doors.
Right.
Understand this: your life is a hallway full of doors, right? But when you open up that right door, you feel me? You get what you've been waiting for. You get what God put into your head to do, right? So without talking, I would have never found my door.
So I'm the interview.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So do you feel like you're on your journey to healing? Your healing journey, and you're still surviving?
No, I was just saying people say they survive every day.
Okay, so it's either or. Can you do both?
I think you can.
Okay.
I don't think it's a problem with trying to do both, but I think you have to do one either 70-30 or 80-20, right? Because if you're constantly saying you're surviving, that means you're dealing with trauma.
Right.
I'm surviving. Or I'm breathing. You feel me? Like that's
I said that.
Even when we're talking, you feel me? Like, what's up? How you feeling, man? I'm breathing. I ain't complaining.
Yeah.
But then you're surviving.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay to complain.
But I think we can do both. I do. I believe that we can do both.
Right.
And I think that, again, what is the definition of surviving? Like, is it, because we talk about emotionally and mentally, right? Because oftentimes it's like my pockets, right? I'm surviving. But if I get $1 million, I survive.
I'm really surviving. Yeah. More money, more problems. Let me tell you that. Don't think because you got more money, your problems going to go away. They're going to exacerbate so much, right? But no,
I want to be able to answer your question because I think it's important to be able to emphasize the importance of healing, right? And understand that it is a journey, and understand that every day isn't going to be perfect, right? And also give yourself grace to feel when it's uncomfortable, okay?
Give yourself what?
That doesn't grace, because it doesn't mean that you're not still on that healing journey. You still on it. It don't feel good right now, but you on it.
Oh, it hurts so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it hurts so bad. Especially when you see what you've done.
Right.
You know, people that you've hurt. Right? I can only imagine how someone that did something like just crazy has to look at so many people that he hurt or she hurt, right? And just be like, I'm sorry. And they're like, no, we don't want no forgiveness from you, right? And it's just like, damn, you got to learn to forgive yourself.
You got to.
Right? And you got to continue to move forward no matter what anyone is saying about it. You got to love yourself again more than you ever did before, right? So I believe that you can, but it's not an even split. Like you can't be splitting surviving and healing. It's I think it's 80 to the healing, right? And 20 to the surviving, right? So
yeah, but I also, the other layer that you mentioned about, like, you know, people's response, it also takes, I'm going to use the word awareness a lot, and awareness, there's a benefit, right? Like, what am I going to get out of this?
Right.
What am I going to get out of waking up and getting out of bed versus laying here and not? What's going to be in it for me, right? What is going to be the reward of my time and effort? But the reward is something you can't see. So healing is a journey, and it's definitely one worth taking.
it definitely is.
And it does first start with why. If I'm going to make this shift, for what? So I can keep surviving? Okay.
No, it's not. It wasn't to keep surviving. It was to become a better man for me.
Yeah, the why.
To become something. And everybody always say, oh, you was only worried about your son. Yeah, because I didn't have a father. I had one, but he died when I was 12. And that was my trauma. I had abandonment issues. So So I was always looking for approval. I was always looking for people to be around, and I would follow whoever I was around, right? Because I lost my leader. You feel me? So I'm looking for a new leader. So I'm following you for 2 years, following you for 4 years.
Right.
Then I went upstate and I was in there and I heard his voice, bro. Like he was standing right next to me, and that broke me. Cause I didn't care. I'm doing this to get back at my mom. But I was a lie. I wasn't trying to be mean to my mom. You feel me? Like I was just wanting her to wake up, not understanding how much pain she felt. You feel me? Like how could she continue to be my mom after her world was just shattered, bro, destroyed? She saw her husband every day. She didn't think she would lose him. So now, how does she cope?
Right.
How do I cope?
Right.
With losing both of them, but she's still here. So we had a lot of arguments. We fussed a lot. The night before she passed.
That's what the symptoms look like.
Right, but the night before she passed away, bro, we had a nice conversation. And she told me how proud of me she was.
Look at that.
You feel me? Yeah. Now, I sometimes regret that phone call. Because maybe if I didn't call her, she never said it, she would still be here. You feel me? That's just me, just thinking,
I'm
right?
gonna let you hold it.
But, and I cry now, right? Because I think about what she told me. You feel me? And how, like, this has been the best 7 years of being your mother, right? Because I see you being who you are. I see you being positive. I see you being motivating. That's who you were when you were younger. What happened? I said, Dad died. And you died with him. The mother that I remember used to always sit up late night listening to Tony Brown, WDAS. I'm be on the radio one day. But I remember saying these things to her.
And look at you.
Right? And it never matriculated. I went to school. I majored in communications, but I didn't stay. I was staying in college. I'm going out here to the street. There's money out here. Not understanding what I was doing. Upstate, looking out the window and seeing 3 people that I saw when I was in the Banneker, looking out the window, asked my dad to go upstairs. He said, you go outside, you're going to end up upstate with those 3 young men. My father died, I rushed to go outside. I was always outside. I was always in the mix. I was always doing something. Oh, Pierre's a nerd. No, I'm not. Look, I can do this, right? Then I became this big bruiser, and everybody looking at me like, yo, you not the same young boy you was when you first came. No, I'm not. Yeah. You want to try? But that was the issue, and that was the problem. So for me, going to therapy, I was able to sit and discuss all that and say all that. And now, for the first time in my life, I felt like I had a handbook. You understand what I'm saying?
But you helped write the handbook.
I know, but I didn't know that I was writing it.
Exactly. And I think that that's a lot of pain behind purpose. We don't know what's written. It's just happening. Because you can't see it. We all want to plan for everything.
You can't.
You can't plan for everything.
About 20% of life.
Yeah, but you can't plan your purpose. It just do good. It's going to happen. You can't see it. You can feel it.
Yeah. And you will continue to lose people, places, things, jobs, money. It's a part of life. Yeah. It's grief. So we don't just grieve the people that die. We grieve the things that we lose as well.
Absolutely.
Somebody lose their job. They could be at home crying.
No,
right?
absolutely.
They could be mad at their kids. You could be so mad at your kids that you smack your kid for no reason. And it's like, maybe I need to. But you're not going to talk to nobody about it because you don't want them to know what you did. You're ashamed of the action instead of getting help.
The symptoms, I'm going to say that one more time.
Symptoms.
The symptoms of trauma, right? So I think that that's another piece of trauma because the symptoms are typically behavioral, right? We don't get grace for behavior. No, you should know better, right? Yeah. And no, we're not trying to give a pass to everybody who's experienced trauma, but as individuals and organizations that are doing the work and providing mental health support, you got to be able to see things sometimes beyond the behavior. Yes. Because they're often a symptom of something deeper and internal.
And this is like a mini therapy session. I appreciate you for this. I do. I was trying to get, Quan and Kyra to do the same thing, but it wasn't for my smoke. Anyway, how can people in the community get involved with Chester Community Coalition, whether they've experienced trauma themselves or they just want to support others?
They could. We always have volunteer opportunities. Also, tell a friend and tell a friend. We like to. We are being more visible in the community. We like boots on the ground. We outside. The weather is breaking. We outside, so you will see us outside. And anybody can get involved. Like I said, signing up for our newsletter, sharing our social media posts, applying to our open positions. Um, and so yeah, those are just some of the ways you can get involved. Bringing ideas to us, like we like to stay in our lane.
Right.
But I think that there's always a connection to impact of gun related violence. So we're always open and to community member ideas and collaboration. We support small businesses in collaborating with them as well. So yeah, you can get involved in all of those ways.
Absolutely. Well, we were just talking, and we basically kind of answered this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What barriers still exist in getting people the help they need, and how is Chester Community Coalition working to break those barriers down?
Okay. I just mentioned we stand in our lane first, right? So our mission, vision, values always have to be in line, right? So connected to that is collaboration. You can't break down a barrier alone, but the bigger the army,
Boy, I say it all the time.
the more barriers we can break down.
Unity, bro.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And staying in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
Just because he's making more money over there, don't mean you go over there with them. But I get it. I understand that.
Yeah. So, even I got to speak to a new barrier for us that we are currently working to break down, and that is since Crozier closed. So Chester Community Coalition had a partnership with them called the Hospital Link Violence Intervention Program. We were stationed in the emergency department, and if anyone was shot or stabbed, we were notified if we weren't already at the hospital. And so while we are still on the journey of grieving that closure, we're still active in trying to make connections we ain't never have to make before, right? Or maybe we did. And we didn't know until now. And we want to be more proactive and less reactive. Right. Because we working hard to make these connections, right? We want to be able to support the community. We want to be able to meet our folks wherever they land. If they land in Philly and Temple, we want to be there. If you land in Christiana, we want to be there. But that communication barrier was broken. So building new collaborations and strengthening existing ones has been a part of our uphill approach and battle.
Okay. If someone is listening right now and they're struggling silently, what would you say to them?
I see you. For real. Chester Community Coalition sees you. Because sometimes you can see it, right? We talk about behaviors, right? And I know that you feel like you can do it on your own, but you don't got to. You don't have to. You absolutely do not have to. Chester Community Coalition is here. I think that at the Peace Walk there will be opportunities for you to find out who else you can add to that list of walking through the journey out of suffering with you.
That's all the questions I got for you.
Okay.
You answered them as I knew you would.
Okay, thank you.
This right here is the executive director. Sorry for that. The executive director of Chester Community Coalition. Listen, hit her up, man.
Hit us up.
Where are you located?
We rent out space at Shiloh Baptist Church at 703 Central Avenue here in Chester, PA.
Everybody know where Shiloh is.
Yeah.
Everybody should know where Shiloh is. Go through there. Talk to them.
Yeah.
If you feel like your children or you need therapy, go. Talk to them. You can't heal what you don't reveal. And we say that all the time, right? Shout out to Andrea Brown on Straight Like That. We were doing uncomfortable conversations, and we were talking about shadow work and the different things you have to go through to be able to look at your shadow and fight yourself, right? It's a fight, bro. It really is. It was for me because I felt like I was I was healed enough to start the radio station, but I wasn't healed enough to be me.
Okay.
Right? To be in a relationship and really give. So, I had to go back in the ring. Right? I got punched in my face a couple times, right? And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't heal this part of me, right? Because I didn't know that this was hurting.
Okay.
Right? I was bleeding over here. I got shot a couple times. I'm bleeding on my hip. I patched that up, I'm good. I look down, I got blood on my sock. Where that's coming from? Oh man, I got hit up here, right? So, pay attention, right? And focus on loving yourself, healing yourself, growing yourself, and everything else it'll fall in line.
Find purpose behind the pain.
Bro.
It's purpose behind it. It's there.
And it's so much, right? It's like an abundance
of opportunities are endless.
Of opportunities of compassion, of just sharing, of grace. So it's like, oh no, this is too much. Let me sit down. But you understand when you get to working inside of your purpose that you're supposed to connect to other people. You're supposed to motivate other people. You are motivating others just simply by sitting here, right, and doing this. So just keep doing it.
I feel like I'll tell you a little bit what purpose feels like to me real quick. I feel like I'm supposed to be here. I ain't supposed to be nowhere else. I'm supposed to be right here.
And I appreciate you for being right here. And I'm telling you, no, it's not. It doesn't have to be a weekly show, but a monthly situation where you come in and you talk about. And I don't know if anybody wants to come in and be interviewed on their therapy, but I'll be the guinea pig. I don't have no problem with talking about what I've gone through and how I've grown through it and how I still am working. It's not finished.
It's a journey.
It's a constant journey over rough seas, through calm waters, over hills, through valleys. You feel me? Like
we spend some time in we want more of that at the beach.
Yeah, just chilling.
Right. But it's gonna rain one day.
No, it's gonna rain. It's gonna monsoon. You feel me? The earth is gonna shake. And you gotta go up that mountain. You gotta climb. And I say this because my uncle used to say, the bottom of one mountain is the top of another. Or the top of one mountain is the bottom of another, right? Either way you look at it, right? That's where it is. Yeah. So you might think you're there, but there's still so much
Absolutely.
More. So I'd like to thank you for stopping through. Again, this is LaShara Council. She is the executive director for Chester Community Coalition. And this Saturday, they're having their, fourth annual. Right? The very first joint y'all had, I had a stroke. Oh, wow. And I wasn't able to, I was supposed to come, but, the team went there. That was stress. Right? Stress.
Yeah.
Working a job.
Your body gonna tell you.
Right. Not being able to do what I need to do. And, I didn't have health insurance, right? So then I got another job. That was crazy, right? Working 2 jobs at the same time, being pulled into.
But that used to be the thing. I used to have 3 jobs. I made Elwin, I'm here, And then I was like, as I got older, I was like, you need to get one job where you can make this amount of money.
Right. And the only place, like I said, I talked to my mom, and I said, I got to quit both my jobs. I got to focus on what I want. I was hearing it. Focus on the radio station. Focus on the radio station. But I gotta go over here. I gotta do this. I gotta show up for this. I gotta be here for this. I gotta go over here. And then I noticed that maybe my ideas weren't my employees' cup of tea.
Okay.
So shit, if my ideas ain't gonna work for you, I know damn well they ain't gonna work for me. So I'm gonna bet on myself. Okay. I have no other choice. Right? And then after my mom died, my cousin, my grandfather, my god grandmother, and my aunt. You feel me? There was a 5.
Yeah.
And it was too much.
Loss is real.
It was too much. So I had to sit down. I had to fall back. But I'm telling you right now, until you talk to someone who is there to help you, because trust me, the counselors are not there to get your information and sell it or talk about you or go on Facebook. I ain't going there talking to no stranger. I said, you don't even talk.
And we don't get paid outside of our salary. We don't get an extra fee for having.
Because you're coming in, right? Yeah. It's not about gaining.
And your services are free.
And it helps, but it only helps if you reveal what you can't get help going in there and lying.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to get help. You're going to remain the same. So if you don't want the help, then don't go in there and say, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I don't know. No, bro, I messed up, man. I cheated. I lied. I stole. I did all this stuff. What did I want to be? I wanted to be on the radio. I wanted to do this. Like, you have to say the truth.
I think it's important also to acknowledge the first steps of therapy, which is relationship building. Like, and I don't mean like in an intimate way, but relationship between the participant and the therapist is the foundation. So where you come in here lying, I can say, come on now, right? So we don't start off session one deep diving into your traumatic history, right? Relationship building needs to happen in order for the collaboration, right, to work and for skills to be developed and to get on that journey.
Now, that's all I talk about is therapy. Therapy works. Ask me how. Ask me how it allowed me to look into myself, look into the mirror and see who I really was. Yeah. And pull off all the makeup and the facade and the wigs and all that stuff and say, damn.
It takes courage to do that.
I look good, too.
Yeah.
You feel me?
No, but it takes courage.
Yeah, it does.
Because people scared to see what they're going to see.
Boy.
Yeah.
And if it's a devil, guess what? That's just makeup. You can pull it off, too. You can pull it off again. But you can't
There's always opportunities as long as you're here on this earth for change.
Well, I thank you for stopping through. I'll see you Saturday.
See you Saturday.
We'll be out there.
Meet me there, don't meet me there.
Please show up, man. This is the Wear Orange Peace Walking Block Party, Saturday, June 7th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Martin Luther King Park, Chester, PA. We are walking from 9th and Kerlin Street. So if you get there, why don't you do all this?
What? If you get there and what?
If you get there and you need a ride, you got rides.
Yeah.
Right. We got rides to get the people to 9th and Kerlin.
Yes. So you can come straight to 9th and Kerlin. If you park at 9th and Kerlin, then once you get down to the park, we have a van to take you back to...
Where they going to park at on 9th and Kerlin?
Well, some people... All right, I parked in that parking lot on the hill near the church, right across the street from JNS.
Oh.
Because we're gonna meet in the JNS parking lot. Oh. So I've parked in the JNS parking lot, or up there.
I'll be out there fighting with the Hebrew.
Oh no!
I'm
gonna tell them to come walk right down to the MLK Park with us.
And listen. If anybody knows them, there's a space here at the radio station.
It's a walk of peace. We will not.
Things happen. You can't be up there beefing with them. But why you walking for peace? Like, ho. I get it. I understand it. I respect you, and I do. And if they want a show, they can have a show on the radio station. It's
about a 25 to 28 minute walk down 7th Street to the park. Yeah. And again, once you get down there, if you need to go back up and get your car, we'll have a van to take you back up there.
Absolutely. Or you can come to the Martin Luther King head and get a ride up there and then just walk to your car.
Yeah, or you could do that.
Right. All right. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Be safe.
Thank
Everybody,
you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. Listen, man, make sure you get down to the Peace Walk. I don't care if you meet them on 9th and Kerlin or you meet them down at the Martin Luther King head. This is important for our community. There will be tons of giveaways. There'll be food. There'll be DJs. And the radio station will be there. If you want to come through and say something on the radio, Saturday is the time to do it. Right? We'll be interviewing different people. We'll be interviewing our community leaders. And we'll be interviewing future community leaders as well. Right? CMPradio.net. You already know it's the station. Have a good night on purpose.